Hey guys, it's Ashlynn Rae, and I'm here with the youngest in the Yacht Club podcast.
They want the money and fame. We go to the city and we don't be tucking our chain. Woke up in paradise and we live in the drain. I know it won't be the same. Someone go put a cocaine. Fly Latino gang.
I used to dream of something like this. Remember times I was doing bad.
Youngest in the Yacht Club. I am Vince Serrano, and we've got a special guest today. She's an entrepreneur. She's got her own brand. We've got Ashlynn Rae. What's up?
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on Youngest in the Yacht Club.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. You know, with Youngest in the Yacht Club, we always want to highlight the women that are doing things in the industry.
Yes.
And we always started off with an introductory question. Who is Ashlynn Rae?
All right. Dang. Who is Ashlynn Rae?
Yeah.
She's a lot of things, but first and foremost, definitely a mom, mom to 4 beautiful kids, beautiful boys who are, my biggest fans. They support their mom, and, they're my reason. And 2 bonus children, so altogether 6.
Wow.
Yeah. We have a big family.
That's awesome.
I would also say she's a fighter. Like, I feel in the way of everybody goes through what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that I feel like I've been through a lot, and I will continue to fight. Like, that's all I know for, my kids, for me, my dreams, and definitely just will forever be fighting for goals and hopes and dreams. And then the last thing will be a creator. I'm an artist. I like to see everything, all my visions and goals and dreams, like to take them from being a vision and actually make them a reality. It's special. You know, it is. When you're an entrepreneur and the first time you do it, you get going, and then you just keep going.
It's crazy, right?
Yes, like the goals, the dreams, the visions, they don't ever stop.
I like that you said that you were a fighter. Why do you consider yourself a fighter?
I just feel like I've been through a lot of difficulties. I mean, when I was young, I got pregnant when I was 16 in high school. So that was definitely, it was hard being in high school, just to talk, really
being as a child.
Yes,
almost. Yeah,
and
right.
still being a mom, getting through high school, graduating, but also just like the mental part of it. I feel like we all kind of get programmed. You take other people's opinions, and sometimes you storm in there and you kind of forget who you are, and you just make up this version of yourself that isn't even you, just from what people say and think and judge. And it took me a while to get out of that. I went through it with the depression and trying to find who I was, and am I ever going to be anything? But it was always in there, like a little bit. It faded a lot, and I needed help, and I was like, man, I've been, in the lowest lows, but at the end of the day, of course I look at my children, my boys, and I'm like, no, get back up.
Fire.
Get back up. And that's just what I do. So
That's awesome. Where are you from?
From Tampa, born and raised. So
That's awesome. What part of Tampa?
the Northdale, Carrollwood area.
Okay.
So from Sickles High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Graduated from there. 07.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Getting old now. I need to stop saying 07. But
No. You know what? I feel like we age good though.
you have to.
Right?
I don't care
You keep
what.
that stress
Yes.
to a minimum.
Figure it out.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I also like the part that you said that you're an artist and you're creative. Where'd that come from? Where'd the creator in you come from?
I feel like I've always kind of been liked art, you know what I mean? Drawing, makeup, beauty, just creating things. I remember when I was little, I would just take things apart and try and put them together and invent something just to make something new. Just, that before and after.
Right.
it's interesting to me. So I started really falling in love with the beauty side of it, and just that, before and after, like they come in and what am I looking for? Like,
The before and after, like, they come in as a certain way, and then when they leave, it's just like,
it's just night and day. And how you make women feel about themselves, just like a little bit of work done and they leave feeling like a whole new person.
and that makes you feel good, huh?
Yes, it's like all my clients, they're all my best friends.
That's awesome.
And they all think I'm their best friend. We don't ever hang out outside the salon, but
the times that you do,
but you feel like that's your best friend, and I'm like, I like it. I like the way it feels.
I'm like that with my barber.
Are you?
Yeah,
he
I'm
knows
just
everything.
like that with
You'll tell your barber anything.
Yeah, he's like my therapist.
Exactly. That's really what we are.
Yeah, you guys
listen.
Yeah. That's good. That's awesome. And then the fact that, when did you first start getting into like the beauty and
the beauty industry? So I have been in the beauty industry now for about 13 years.
Okay.
And I've been in the lash industry 10 years now. So I went to Paul Mitchell beauty school, and after that I actually was a hairstylist, right?
Okay.
So I didn't do lashes. I was a hair extension specialist.
Okay.
Which was cool. I worked at one of the top salons in South Tampa, and I had a great mentor. I mean, I started at the bottom, which I think is super important for
anyone, right?
Anyone to really start at the bottom and have to work their way to the top. I feel like when you have some sweat and money in the game, that you're gonna work that much harder, right? And it's gonna mean that much more. So
you'll appreciate it more, right?
Yes, and just doing the best you can. That mentality of doing the best you can, no matter what level you're at. Like, if I'm mopping floors, like, I'm going to do it better than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that competitiveness.
Like, yeah, because people notice. It might take a little bit, but, she noticed. And I was really thankful for the opportunity to be the salon bitch. But, it taught me a lot. And I continued to grow because I did it well.
That's awesome. So you were doing hair, and then you were working there, and then how did you transition? What made you transition to the lash part?
So again, I was doing hair extensions, which is a luxury service, and I had some clients, and at this time, lash extensions weren't really a thing. It was more like a celebrity deal. Like, people correlated it to like weddings, like not an everyday type of service you would get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a couple clients who got them done. And I just started, talking about it. And one of my clients were like, oh, I know this girl. She was in Brandon. Like, at that time, I don't even think there was anyone in Tampa even really doing them.
Wow.
If they did, I didn't know. And, I just got connected with her. And she's like, this is a gold mine. Like, you need to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, you want me to come take your class? So I will.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I wasn't giving that money away to somebody else, Like, if they're my clients, like, why not learn this service?
Keep it in, yeah.
Here,
yeah.
So, ended up working out like crazy because, like I said, at that time, no one was really doing it. So I had like zero competition, right?
Wow. Like,
when I came back, I remember my books were filled with models. I thought I was going to be so good at lash extensions, let me tell you. That class, I was like, oh God, I wasted my money.
Really?
I glued the eyelashes together. I was like, it's hard. It's tedious. If you watch someone do it, you're like, your brain tells you that's easy. You have two hands,
Right.
It looks easy. But then when you go to actually do it, it's so tedious that you just get lost in it. And I was like, oh man, this is not it. But I had already booked my clients before I took the class.
Wow.
Right. So I come back and I have 2 full sets, which sounds like nothing until you're doing
have to do
it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here, in the beginning, a full set can take 3 hours, 4 hours. You feel like you got hit by a truck by the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're so tense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every muscle. And
I could only imagine.
Wow.
And then you're dealing with somebody's eye.
Yes. It's terrifying. I'm like, fake it till you make it. You know, everything's fine.
Right.
You know, I'm like, oh my God. Like, if I get these stuck together, like, no one's here. But anyways, I just continued to grow. And like I said, I had no competition. So everybody in the salon, you know, there was a full salon full of clientele for hair. But since I was the only one offering lashes, it was a free-for-all. I mean, everyone went to me.
Wow.
So my books just grew rapidly. And I remember going to work and checking, you know, what I would make. And I'm like, wow, this is a gold mine. Like, holy crap. The first year I made $100K, which changed my life. It was like totally a new game, you know?
Yeah, you leveled up.
And it's like, it really wasn't that hard.
Right.
Then my mentality started to change. Like, sometimes I feel like people can't grasp that they can do something. Like, they make it out to be so hard.
Right.
But if they just, like, did it, like, didn't think about it, like, took the steps, it's really not hard. There's opportunity everywhere.
And you learn while you're doing it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely learn.
I feel like the same way, especially like where, you know, when I was working in my industry, I had never made $100K legally in my life.
Right?
Right.
It's different.
Right. And so it did seem like a mountain. And then when you're trying it and you're starting off, it seems like, man, that mountain, when you get up to it, like at the bottom, you're like really just, it looks like Mount Everest.
Yes.
You know? But then you start going, like you said, you don't even think about it. You just kind of just step your way up. And as you're going up, you realize, man, I could do this.
Right? It's like, well, if I can do this, like, what does another 100K look like on top of that?
On top of that.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, the mountain today is the speed bump of the mountain you're going to face tomorrow.
Right? It's always a speed bump or a bump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it is. And as long, like you said, just willing to go over it and figure it out, we're going to get there.
Yeah. So it changed your life, right? Obviously, you leveled up. How'd your lifestyle change when you made that first 100K?
Honestly,
Be real.
it was kind of crazy because at that time of my life, we're going to back up here a little bit.
Okay.
So I had 2 kids of my own.
Yep.
And actually, the night of my first day of lash training, I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd son, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The night of your last, so you really had to.
So, yeah. I was like, that's why I didn't do so good, because I was sick. But no. Yeah, I found out I was pregnant with my 3rd son. And I totally forgot.
Yeah, no, how did your lifestyle change?
Oh, my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, well, so the father of my second 2 sons, he was a professional athlete, right? So we were pretty comfortable,
Right.
you know, but he was always gone traveling. You know, I decided that I wanted to stay, keep my kids here. I didn't want to be the wife traveling around or the girlfriend traveling around.
Right.
So as far as financially, I feel like I had a cushion. I just honestly wasted a lot more money, to tell you the truth. When I got it,
That's what I wanted to hear.
didn't know what to do. It was just there.
You got to learn how to be financially literate, right? Because when it comes, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like I can
Get whatever I want. Yeah.
Go to the store, you know? And I'm like, you learn fast that that's not it either.
Right. And and with Youngest in the Yacht Club, you know, they see you, you know, making it. They see you out there, you know, driving the cars. They see you out here making the money.
They see that. But then it's like, I feel like that too. I feel like on the journey, you know, of starting my business, everyone sees it, you know, through the outside lens, and they're like, oh, you're doing so great. Like, things are so perfect for you. And I'm like, no. Like, it looks like that. And it's gonna look like that.
Right.
You're gonna see that, but it's a struggle. You know, like, people see you and they just automatically think, man, you own a business, like, you got it, you have no worries, you have all the money in the world. But like we were saying, to level up takes money, you know? It always goes back in, and we've gone through some really hard times, even when I made it, after I made it, another speed bump, you know, in the road where it's like, all right, like, how do we get up from here? You know, every growth process or growth stage, it requires a different process. And the more money you have, the more money you spend, the higher you want to go, the more money it costs. So it's like trying to learn how to be stable and balanced.
I was going to ask, how do you balance a lifestyle like that with being a mom and then being an entrepreneur and a business owner? And then how did you learn how to do that?
You know, it's something I'm still learning to do, to tell you the truth.
That's awesome.
And, you know, I struggle with it because I always want to give 100, you know, and like I said, I have different times, you know, feel like I'm in more mom mode or I'm in more business mode, and I'll catch myself and I'll be like, all right, I'm getting a little too crazy with the business. You know, like I need to take some time off, take a couple days, like do something with my kids. Because it's hard, you know, the lines get blurred while I'm doing this for my kids, so it's okay. But like my kids need their mom and time, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So just setting time aside and like intentionally doing things with that time, being present, the time that you have with them.
Absolutely.
Really big on that, like letting them know that I'm hearing them, I'm listening to them, I'm not just
a shell of yourself.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta just make an effort.
It's dope hearing that from you because, you know, there's a lot of people that, like I said, you know, they don't know what it really takes. They don't know the time and effort, and the lines do become blurred. It's hard to shut it off sometimes, right?
It's super hard.
Yeah.
Super hard.
And so you're out here hustling, and, you know, you said it, like, you're finding the reasons to do it because it's them, but then you also have to find reasons to shut it off for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's huge. It's huge.
You know, my kids, I'm a baseball mom, so
okay, that's cool.
They're in travel ball, and every weekend we're constantly traveling around and doing this and doing that, and it's like I don't know how I do fit it all in. And people ask me all the time, how do you do it? And
you just do it.
It's just staying present. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't with the past and you can't with the future. Like, you got to just live every day and just try and stay as easy as you can. Yeah. I mean, there's no, like, formula.
There's no formula. That's cool. That's cool because people be thinking you got to have a secret sauce, and really the secret sauce is just testing it out every day.
Exactly. Surviving.
Yeah, and thriving at the same time, you know?
Absolutely.
It's dope to hear that. It's dope to hear that. Where, you know, when we started the conversation, right, you said you had gotten pregnant at 16 and, you know, you were fighting and, you know, your kids are super important. I always like to ask, if you could go back in time and give your younger self some advice, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, man. Really just to relax, you know, to just give yourself a little bit of grace, you know, and trying to enjoy the ride. Life is short. Like, and I'm big on that now. And
what makes you say that?
I just feel like, you know, time, especially when you're busy, time just flies by, and you just got to be able to slow down and just take it as what it is and not be so hard on yourself, because if you're obsessing over things that you have done in your younger years or in the past, like, it's doing nothing for you. Right. So just, you know, you learned, it was a life lesson, and just keep going. Just don't take everything so personal too.
That's awesome.
I feel like a lot of us do that. And like I was saying earlier, your mind is like a program, you know, your brain. And it's like, what are you feeding it? If you're just sitting on the stuff that someone said about you, or, you know, your life isn't the perfect book, you know, you go to school, you graduate, you get married, you have kids, like this unwritten book that is the book of life. Like, you know, like if you don't do that, then you didn't do it right.
And it's
Doesn't
not like
matter.
that, right? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I feel like those people still have problems.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
That's not even real. You know what I mean? Like underneath it, like it's not.
Yeah, it like you said, it's not even real. It's not even realistic.
No, but I feel like just the pressure, like we all feel like we have to do things a certain type of way, and it's just not like that.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that answer because it's you know, it doesn't seem like you would change anything.
No.
That's awesome. That's
No.
awesome. So you're good with what you've learned and where you're at, and you just want to keep elevating. Give yourself, don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
I have to tell myself that sometimes.
Yeah, we all do. I do.
For
I
sure.
still do.
For sure. What, in the entrepreneur game, right? And especially as a woman in today's industry, we talked about it before we were recording, right? Women are coming up right now.
Yes, it's our time. I mean, it's great to see women, coming together and inspiring each other. Like me, I'm like, I want to go to the top, but I want to bring everybody with me.
That's
Like, if you're willing to like ride the ride and put in some work, no, but I don't want to go alone. That's no fun.
Right.
And I feel like that's more the mindset and the vision with the women these days. It's like, let's go.
How are you doing that where you're taking other people with you?
So I opened my first lash salon, right?
Wow. Congrats.
So thank you. We've been open almost 5 years.
Wow, congrats. Yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome. Yo, businesses don't last that long.
No, my dad, he helped me open it, and he told me 3 years.
You got
We'll
to.
see.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you
yeah.
make it to that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I opened up my lash salon, and I always wanted to get into the education portion and the product portion, developing my own brand for professional lash artists and training them because, man, I wanted to share the gold, like, look what I did. Like, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me a couple years, though, when I first, this is my third time that I actually started a lash brand because it was an idea, but I just, timing, aligning, everything wasn't where it needed to be. I wasn't. So finally I decided, I want to say a year and a half ago, that I'm going to start a lash brand, right? Ashlynn Rae.
Awesome.
Eyelash extension for professionals. So I told myself, though, this time I'm going to take it slow. I'm not going to rush the process because that was the issue before.
Right.
So I started. It was about the time right after COVID. So I was just ordering a lot of samples. I mean, there's packages every day. And I was like, some days I'm like, I'm never going to find like the best eyelashes, and that's what I wanted. Like, I want the best of the best, so I'm not putting my name on it.
That's awesome. Picky.
Yeah. But, it's hard to find.
Greatness is hard to find.
Yes. So finally I just kept pushing and, things started coming together. It took me a good year, though, of just doing sampling manufacturers and who I wanted to work with and suppliers, developing my brand, my logo, my story. And then, adding on to answer your question, the education portion, which is what I'm really working on now, is one, really teaching lash artists, obviously, the skill of lashing, right? Using your hands to actually put lash extensions on, but also teaching them the business side of it, because what I feel is super in demand and needed right now is the business portion, because like when I opened my first business, I opened as a lash artist, right? No business knowledge, and it was hard. I had to learn a lot of lessons. I did a lot of things wrong. So giving someone an outline and teaching them what they need to be successful in business, plus their skill, because a lot of lash artists, they are actual business owners, right? It's their own business. They have to create an LLC, they have to make sure they have all their licensing fees, So just kind of giving them the stepping stones to that. And also just mindset and inspiration. I feel like mindset is the biggest key factor in being successful and being a successful business owner. And how I actually found that out, I remember one day I was like, let me just Google how to be a millionaire real quick.
Okay.
You know?
Hey, I've done that a few times, right?
Yeah.
And what did they tell you when you looked it up?
I'll tell you. It didn't matter what profession they were in. You know, I saw Jay-Z, I saw athletes, I saw politicians. Like, it was all just mindset. Mindset, positive mindset, affirmations, rewiring and refiring the program of your mind. And I started devoting every day time to that, you know, building myself up, building my confidence, you know, because being an entrepreneur, being a business owner is hard, right? Doesn't matter how good you are, how smart you are, where you came from, it's hard. So just reprogramming your mind daily and staying like with that same vision, I think is what is going to make you actually succeed.
That's fire.
Yeah.
And so you teach people how to have that mindset as well.
Yeah. So I have like a training for the actual skill set, and I'm actually creating like an ebook right now of just like the business / mindset / inspiration, you know.
That's fire.
Yeah. So
That's amazing. And you said it. Most people, their mindset, they have a poverty mindset, right? Or they have a scarcity mindset where they don't even think that they can build it.
I did.
What did you read books, or how did you get that mindset? Like you said, you built yourself up.
Definitely books, but I honestly just will watch little videos on YouTube. Like I'll go on there, and that's just what I just started doing, you know, and then it's one thing leads to another, another.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, I'm like, you can learn anything on there.
That's fire. What was your favorite video, or the one that got you started? One of the most memorable ones that you feel? Could be anything.
What got me started? Honestly, the whole mindset one, I think it was Jay-Z, and he was just, like, talking about, you know, your mindset and being positive, and you just got to be willing to put in the work, and that anybody could do it.
Shout out to Hove.
Yeah. No, for real though. For real. I was like, man,
That's
I
awesome.
felt it.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like super raw to me. Like it was just, it like changed my mentality. I was just like, all right.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them ones. I mean, the things that he's been able to do coming from literally the streets to becoming a billionaire. Like if you're gonna pick anybody, probably.
Yeah. I mean, hello. But I feel like people like, you know, us entrepreneurs, hustlers, that's how it is. Like, I love just hearing their story because I feel like those are the best stories.
For sure.
And those are the most successful people.
Yeah. I feel like having you on here has been a success story, you know, and you're still working at it, right?
Right.
You know, but just letting people know, like, hey, look, you can go through a lot of struggles, a lot of trials and tribulations. You're going to get tried by the fire, and it's going to be okay. That's the same way. Iron sharpens iron. You got to stick it in the fire. You got to cool it off. You
100%.
You know, so it's good to see that you're growing and you're seeing that, and you're constantly, you know, one of the best things, a lot of people, they when they're successful, they don't have, like, they look like they're not approachable, right? Or they look like they're not humble, but you seem like you're a humble type of person. Is that Ashlynn Rae? Is she humble?
Definitely.
Like humble, confident though, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're not just gonna.
Yeah. You know, not every day, but that's who I tell myself I am.
That's awesome.
And I am, you know, but I do try and just be very real and not get lost in the mess. You know, just stay real and stay good, you know, to people, to everything, and honest. And it's kind of like my motto, like you have to be real and raw, and that's what people want.
That's awesome.
You know, nobody wants to hear your perfect story, that it wasn't perfect, you know.
They see through that, right?
They're like, if you did it, if I have kids, you know, I have this, if you did it, I can do it, you know.
I love that. That's awesome, because that's how I feel. I see these people who are doing things, and then I'm like, well, I got a chance.
Right? Like, that's how you do it, right?
You know?
You look at people who did it, and you're like, so what are they doing?
Yeah.
How do they do it?
They breathe the same air as me.
Yeah.
You know, like, wait a minute, you know? And do you ever feel threatened by anybody who, or are you the type of person that you see somebody do good and you ask questions?
I'll say that I don't ever feel threatened, but sometimes I do get lost in the noise a little bit. Like I kind of will get, my vision will get a little clouded because I'm looking at what other people are doing, and I'm like, well, this is working for them, so should I be doing it like this? You know, and then it won't come out right because it's not my vision, right? So then I kind of have to go back and be like, what do I stand for? Like, what's my story? Like, be authentic and do it that way. So I won't say no, I don't have fear or anything like that, but you got to just stay straight and not get clouded by other people's visions.
And see your own.
Yes.
That's dope. Ashlynn, where can the people find you? Because I think that your story is so authentic. I think it's opening up even my eyes to like the hustler mentality, if and the struggle. Where can the people find you?
So AshlynRaeLashes.com, also Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So Ashlynn Rae Lashes, Ashlynn Rae, just Google me. I'll be there somewhere.
And if they want to learn more about lashes, same thing.
Same thing. On our website, we have the education, we have the products on there, also the appointments. Everything's on that one website. So AshlynRaeLashes.com.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Go visit her. Ashlynn, as far as with like Youngest in the Yacht Club, are there any things that you can give our viewers? One last gem for the viewers that would kind of like, give your message,
Yeah, my message is just don't ever stop fighting. And just like I said, give yourself a little bit of grace, just keep going, put in the sweat, put in the hard work, and it will come together in the end.
That's awesome.
It will.
Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you coming. I think it's been great.
It's been so good.
That's awesome. Fun. Yeah, well, definitely. We got to have you on again when you're big. You're over here with is it Kendall or Kylie that got all the
Kylie.
When you do your thing, when you up there, I see you doing
I'll be back.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you coming so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one.
You too.